We're in today with Ati Radeon X1950 Xt. This is a 2006 video card with 256 megabytes of VRAM, GDDR3, running at 628 megahertz on the core clock and 693 megahertz on the memory clock. It's got 256 bits bus width, DirectX 9, and we're gonna pair it up today with this i7 4th Gen with 4 cores and 8 threads. Today I have two of them in Crossfire, but the Crossfire is totally different and I want to show you how they are performing. Let me show you a couple of settings because yeah, it's very weird today. Okay, so first off, it's enabled to GPU. This is very important. This is 256 megabytes of VRAM video card, yeah, GDDR3. The second one is 500 megabytes of VRAM. Let me explain why this is important. The most important settings that I managed to have in this combination is enable Crossfire. Whenever I look on GPU-Z, you will see there enabled two GPUs. So in order to see that, I have to have this control panel and I have to click on it in order to get that enabled to GPU. The moment I enable Crossfire, both of the video cards are running on PCI Express X8. This is the maximum bus settings that I have. It says I got 256 megabytes of VRAM. In GPU-Z, it says I got GDDR3 running at 500 megahertz, not 628. This one is with 512 megabytes of VRAM, GDDR3. At the same time, this one is 500 megahertz on the core clock and 603 megahertz on the memory clock. Both of them, they are linked together on this frequency. Funny thing about this is that this is the primary adapter and this is a link adapter. Let me show you why this is important, the name. If we take a look in hardware info, you will see both of the GPUs are here. You can actually see Radeon X1950 Xt. This is the confirmation that the video card is Xt. It shows me that it's 500 megahertz on the core clock and 603 megahertz on the memory clock. Both of them, they are saying the same thing. In order, I think this is to link them between them. The problem is I don't have more sensor than this. So I get direct 3D usage, that is the load on the core, memory dedicated on one video card and memory dynamic and PCI Express link speed. Why I'm saying this is that because with Catalyst 10.2 both of the GPU don't have any sensor. The only advantage I have is with FPS monitor that is showing me exactly those sensors. You can actually see I got FPS, averages, minimals, GPU usage on the first one and the second one doesn't have nothing. Today the best thing we can do for this setup is jump in a couple of games and see how they are performing. Let's go. All right, let's start with Hellgate London on 720p. I have 720p because the age of the video card, nearly 20 years old video card, and I cannot put 1080p here. Let me explain why. I started a game that I wanted to see what happens with 256 megabytes of VRAM and the 500 megabytes in the back in order to see how it's performing. In Stalker, the moment 256 megabytes of VRAM reached, the game became unplayable with a lot of stutter the moment it reached the 256 megabytes cap. So in this case, you can actually see the video card is performing really well. I got like 70% load on the core of the video card. I mean on the first video card, because on the second one it doesn't show me. Maybe they are linked together. This is the funny part, you know, because maybe both of the video cards are in the same GPU direct RAID user. And if that is the case, I think this is a nice performance. If it's only with one video card, then yeah, definitely not worth it, because this is one of those types of games that allows me to play in SLI in Crossfire, and the quality here is nearly at maximum, but only with 720p. Yes, I got lights, effects, smokes, shadows and all kinds of stuff, and you see that sometimes it's spiking, you know, but all in all is doing a fantastic job considering what video card I have and how old it is. This is a very interesting performance from this Crossfire. I think it's Crossfire. It says on GPU-Z it's Crossfire, so yes, if it says that it's Crossfire, I will take it, you know, but I can't see it. Regardless, in Fallout on 720p with medium details, I got very interesting performance. Even though in the menu specifically it was clicked VSync, I got 76 FPS. Maybe 76 Hertz on the cable is coming, and this is the limit. I don't ask me. I don't know why I got with VSync enabled 76 FPS. Regardless, I got 0.1 gig of VRAM utilization. That means can be 199 megabytes of VRAM VRAM utilization, 70% load on the core of the video card. This is the performance I get from Fallout with Crossfire, 100 FPS on medium details with 720p. This is fantastic. This is the first time I'm seeing Fallout unlocked. It's utilizing 230 watts consumption in order to deliver this performance. I think Hellgate London did better. I think that was the moment the Crossfire was working really nice. This is the moment I will get an example in which I can utilize FPS monitor to actually explain what's going on. Okay, so you see that 0.2 gig of VRAM utilization, memory dedicated? Yeah, that's the threshold. The moment it's reaching 256 megabytes of VRAM, this is how it's performing. You understand? So 193 watts consumption. So I think the stutter comes from the memory because one has 256 megabytes of VRAM and the other one 500. Thought at the beginning when I saw both of them, they look the same. In this game, you can literally see that there is a high chance you can play the game, but the moment you're utilizing the VRAM at maximum, see, if I sit here on the wall and not utilize the VRAM, I got 83 FPS, 244 watts consumption. So the game is doing the job, but the moment you cap the VRAM, I cannot change the quality, but I can disable some shadows, edges, ragdoll, and bullet impact. You can actually see it's becoming lower than 256 megabytes of VRAM utilization, and the game becomes playable. But if you manage to put it in that condition that doesn't reach maximum, you will get the playable FPS. 240 watts consumption. All in all, this is a decent performance. Now it's working really nice. The core is barely utilized. You can actually see 50% load on the core of the video card. Is this the maximum? Is this Crossfire? I don't know. Don't ask me because it makes no sense when it comes to this type of video card and how to crossfire them. I think I blame the driver and the operating system because I'm 100% sure that if I put an old machine, I mean Windows XP with original drivers, it will be much better. This is a game that actually managed to show me what problem I had, because I didn't thought I will have the opportunity to show you that, you know, because if it's reaching 256 megabytes of VRAM, the whole game is gonna stutter. It's gonna be very horrible and it's unplayable. Nice performance from this, seriously. In Galaxy on Fire, I managed to put every single detail on maximum with 1080p because I want to see if I can saturate that amount of VRAM utilization. You can actually see it doesn't reach 0.2 gig of VRAM, so it's only in hundreds when it comes to the VRAM. It's doing a fantastic, look at that, 0.2. So I got 200 megabytes of VRAM utilization from the game, and yeah, definitely looks fantastic. Only 30% load on the video card. That is a good utilization. Only 200 megabytes of VRAM, because if it doesn't stutter, that means it didn't reach maximum VRAM capacity, and that is a very good thing. On the system side, I got less than 20% load with 56 degrees. On the CPU side, that means it's being utilized on the core side. But why is it so hot, the CPU? 56 degrees. It makes no sense. But I got 60 degrees on the CPU. Why? This is gonna be very interesting because, let me explain. I got 264 watts consumption from the computer, yes? This is very important because I got only 1.1 gig of VRAM utilization, but I think this is a game that is using both of the video cards based on the wattage. So it managed to top Hellgate London in this situation. I got 63 degrees on the CPU side, so even the CPU is being utilized. Yeah, definitely is using. You see the cores are being utilized even here. Got 720p with maximum details, so I will take this as a big win. 272 watts consumption, 300 watts. Why is it important to say nearly 300 watts? Because this video card, it's utilizing one 6-pin connector. That is very important. Overall performance, it's great. Apparently you can put a 256 megabytes of VRAM with the 500 megabytes of VRAM in Crossfire, but the moment you pass 200 megabytes of VRAM and 256 megabytes of VRAM, you will get this, you know. So I put 720p in Skyrim with maximum details. I wanted to see if it's reaching maximum VRAM capacity, and it did, and it gives me 11 FPS. Okay, so let me put to medium details and see how it's working there. This is interesting. Even on medium details, I get 23. Actually, it's lagging. Seriously, actually it's lagging. 23 FPS. Let's go down low details. Okay, so it's not VRAM utilization. It's not stuttering because of the VRAM. It's just, this is what you get. Seriously, 253 watts consumption. Very interesting. I got 80% load on the core of the video card. Maybe it's both of the video card because of the wattage. Very interesting performance, seriously. 30-40 FPS is very stuttery, very laggy. The MS is everywhere. So in this situation, I can definitely say the video card is lagging. I swear I thought this game is gonna lag. 720p low details like every single game. Apparently this one is doing a fantastic job. You know, I think Crossfire is working here because I got 250 watts and definitely an interesting performance. I don't have 200 megabytes of VRAM because it only shows me 0.1. That means can be 199 megabytes of VRAM and it's good. 7.3 gig of system RAM being utilized, 60-70% load on the video card core. Let me see if this one is telling me something different. Yeah, the only thing I'm interested now is to have nice averages here. Like I said, 720p low details, but doesn't matter. In some conditions it's actually playable. This is the only thing that I have that is saying I have Crossfire. I don't know if it's working in Crossfire. The only thing I can say is that if I see in Tech Power Up GPU-Z enable 2 GPUs, I'm 100% sure it's enabled as Crossfire. Plus I have in the control panel enabled Crossfire, so hopefully I get the credit on running 2 video cards like this in Crossfire. It was dodgy because of that 256 megabytes of VRAM versus the 512 megabytes of VRAM. I think that is a very big problem. I think that if you have like this one, 500 megabytes of VRAM video card, it will be much better when it comes to performance. It allows you to use higher resolution and not work with 720p. I think 1080p can be achieved with that half a gig model. So yes, I like this idea of this X1950 Xt. Fortunately, I don't have an XTX model to test to see how it's performing versus this, but 100% sure you can find them online. All in all, I like the test that I managed to do today, even though I find it very dodgy. You know, I think it was corrupt because of the 2 variant video cards, because of the drivers that I had today, because I couldn't see with MS Afterburner, or maybe it was working and everything was fantastic and 256 megabytes of VRAM and 500 megabytes of VRAM, it's an option for AMD only to pair them up as a cascade. I don't know what you think about this combination, but I did manage to find it very entertaining, and if you manage to find it very entertaining, leave a comment if you have any suggestion in the future for this setup or for this video card combination.